they issued FIN 48, which basically required a lot of in-depth documentation in the work papers related to questionable tax positions and what the exposure might be and so forth to put them together tax provision. And the IRS looked at that and they said, oh, this is wonderful. And so then they would start to ask for those work papers. And so then they said, well, how can we get around this? So they said, oh, I know. We'll just require them to include the information with their income tax returns because they have to put it together anyway. So there is a new form, UTP. I've given you a copy with your materials. And so if you have financial statement clients, specifically audited clients, and they're subject to FIN 48, they're going to have to complete one of these forms. Now, the form will eventually be required to be submitted to corporations with both uncertain tax positions and assets equal to or exceeding $10 million when the corporation or related party issues audited financial statements. But what they're doing is they're phasing it in. And so most of us probably here are out. For 2010, corporations with assets of $100 million or more are required to file. 2012 is going to be $50 million, and then the $10 million threshold will apply starting in 2014. Okay. So again, my feeling, and it's been discussed all along that I'm not unique in this regard. I think this will chill open communication between companies and their auditors. Already enough problems as it is, but why would they want to give them all this information? Just work with your attorneys and say as little as you can. Anyway, evidently there's no protection from self-incrimination here. You just have to disclose it because it's required for your financial statement stuff. So since you had to show it to the auditors, you had to show it to the IRS. Okay. Next, unfriendly development. 1099s. All of our favorite. Has anybody here written to their congressman? Oh, you lazy people. That's why I'm here today, to try to get you to do something. So, but all of you know, I'm sure, you'd have to be hiding in a cave someplace, that for payments made after 2011, the requirements for issuing 1099s have been expanded for payments to corporations and payments for property. So literally anybody that a business makes payments to of more than $600, you would be required to issue a 1099. Now the IRS has said, well, we'll give you a little relief here. If you paid them with a credit card, then you don't have to issue the 1099 because we get information on it anyway. Now, doesn't that make you feel comfortable? No. That the IRS is getting all this information from your credit card transactions? Yes, they are. Yeah. You guys like 24? It's real. It's crazy. All right. So I can tell you, I sat in on a meeting when before this happened, some time before, a couple of years. They had like an IRS liaison meeting, so we were up there. And the IRS people had just been through some congressional hearings about unreported income, and I'll tell you, they were sweating. And so, there was a reason why they came up with this. And they were asking the CPAs and the other people who came for suggestions, on how to improve compliance and so forth. And we were saying whatever, but they went in with the idea. They said, the only thing we know that works is 1099, so we're just going to try to expand the 1099 to one. That's exactly what they did. And of course, this had, the reason why this came up, by the way, it was part of the health care bill, and they were looking for revenue to pay for this stuff. And so this is what they did. Now they have been discussing this because actually this is very unpopular, and even though you've been lazy and haven't been writing, the United States Chamber of Commerce and many other organizations have been picking up the bat for all of us. there's the other thing. Okay, so remember I told this thing about 1099. So if you go in and you buy some stuff from Office Depot or Office Max, whatever, and you pay some of it with a credit card and some of it you pay with a check, maybe you just bring some cash or whatever, then you're going to have to segregate them, which one is which, right? Crazy. All right. I don't think that that's going to stay, but they discussed it in Congress, and they hit a wall when they said, okay, we want to repeal this. We really want to repeal this. How are we going to generate the revenue to make up for what the revenue we're going to lose with this? Well, they haven't come up with an answer yet. All right, now, this is a little more recent, so I don't know, may not have received so much publicity, but the Small Business Jobs Act passed recently. It also had some 1099 requirements. You're all familiar with those, right? So, what does it say? It says rental real estate. In the past, we have not had to issue 1099s for clients who had rental real estate and were making payments for things like, tax return preparation fees, and legal fees, and property management fees. Okay. Now, if you make payments of more than $600 for rental property, 1099s are going to be, and that is effective for this year. That means when we are issuing 1099s, helping clients next January, next February, we're going to have to be doing that. And you've all told your clients about this, right? Yes. Good. So we'll need to hear that. Okay. Next item I'm going to talk about is the e-filing. Okay. So in the past, e-filing has been sort of optional to some degree. California has, its requirements, and then you could opt out. Okay, well, the IRS basically has said, not the IRS, I'm sorry, Congress, again, this is part of the revenue raising and so forth. And what are they doing? They're trying to reduce the cost of processing income tax returns. So now all income tax returns are supposed to be e-filed for any tax return preparer who prepares 100 or more federal, individual, or trust income tax returns during the year. And for 2012